Hey guys, Kevin here. Let's set up Python. There are three ways in which you can code using Python. One of them is using the terminal. So basically, you just write print hello world and then it gives you the output of hello world. It's like command prompt. The second method is creating a .py file. For that, you can use VS Code or some integrated development environment or something like that, where you just write the .py file, you write all the code and you run it. And the third one is using a Python notebook. All right. Now, Python notebooks will be essential for machine learning. Whenever in the future we do machine learning, we'll be using Python notebooks as well. And in this series, I'll be coding on a Python notebook because I think for beginners it's easy and to take notes and to refer it. So now for Python notebooks, there are these platforms where you can code them. I'm gonna be explaining two methods. First one is installing Python on your laptop, installing an integrated development environment, which is VS Code in our case, and then coding on VS Code. All right, writing the entire Python on VS Code. So that's offline. And then there's Google Colab, which is a platform on the internet where you will need obviously you'll need access to the internet all the time, and it's a service provided by Google where you just sign in using your Google credentials and you get the entire Python notebook where you can code it. You also get a GPU allotted to you. So sometimes when we are doing further when we are doing machine learning, our laptops might not have the proper GPU demands, so we'll be using Colab for that. I'll be explaining both of them, and because I am not sure if everyone watching this has Windows or is comfortable with VS Code, we'll be continuing with Colab, but first I'll show the installation. So to install Python on your local machine, we are going to be using Anaconda, right? Uh, so let's just start that process. So let's go to anaconda.com, all right? And it automatically detects what your laptop is and what's the best thing. I have a 64-bit Windows, so it automatically detected it and gave it to me. I just click on download, right? From it's also available for Mac and Linux. So I'll just gonna save it on my desktop. Let's save. Let's wait for it to get downloaded. Okay, so Anaconda has been downloaded, right? So let's just double click on this, run it. Uh, it's the installer for Anaconda. So all right, so just click on next. I opened it twice. It's one, right? Let's click on next. Uh, if you want to go through the agreement, you can go through it. I'll just recommend you to agree. Uh, Install it for just me, or it's up to you. All right. You can install it in your C drive. All right. So just click next. And this is a very important thing. We are gonna add Anaconda to your path environment variable. What this basically does is that whenever you open command prompt, and if you were to if you want to access Anaconda through your command prompt, if you have added it to your path, you can access it. If it's not in your path, you'll need to open the Anaconda PowerShell and then access Python through it. We are going to be adding Anaconda 3 to the path environment variable so that we can easily access it through any available place, through any terminal, through the entire laptop. So let's click on install. All right. So installation is complete. Let's click on next. All right. Let's click on next. And yeah. All right. Another thing that we can do is we'll need to install VS Code. So let's just write VS Code. Let's close all of these. No need. Yeah, let's go to VS Code. Let's click download and Windows. The download should start automatically. Let's also save it on the desktop. Let's open it. All right, I accept. Oh, yeah, these two options are very important. You need to check them because what it does is that when you're like this in general tip, that let's say you're using a folder in where you have all your files, right? So if you right click on the folder and you select the option open with code, what happens is that that folder automatically gets opened in VS Code. So that's important thing. Also add to path. Let's click next. uh, let's click install. Let's move ahead. Now we have installed VS Code, so we'll just open VS Code, right? Now over there, once I've opened it, what you can do is go to extensions, all right? And then because I had already installed VS Code before and I had all my extensions over here, you can just, I'll just tell you which all extensions are important. So these are for C++ and HTML. You can install Code Runner, right? It can run .py files as well. All right. You can download the Jupyter extension, Jupyter Cell Tags, Jupyter Key Map, Jupyter Notebook Renderer, Jupyter Slideshow, uh, Pylance, Python Image Preview, and VS Code Jupyter Notebook. Also, there's this cool thing called VS Code Pets. So whenever I'm coding, I get these over here. Also, I can tame and create new ones. So it's just a fun little app. Now let's open a folder over here. All right. So because I'm gonna do everything on my desktop, let's create a new folder over here called learn learn Python. Let's select it. All right. So there you have the entire folder opened in VS Code. Right. What you could alternatively do is you could create this folder manually, open the folder, all right, and then right click, show more options, and then open with code. We had This is a reference to the installation part, all right? So let's just go over here. Let's create a new file called test.ipynb. All right. Now, if you have installed the Jupyter Notebook extensions, this Jupyter symbol should be visible. All right. And you have to select a kernel, and usually it's your Anaconda. So let's just click on Anaconda. Yeah, it automatically got selected over here. Yeah, the base it hadn't loaded. uh, yeah, these command prompts will keep shooting up for some while when you're launching Anaconda. uh, it's the process through which Anaconda launches, so we need to bear with it. It's the Anaconda navigator is just for you to explore. There are many things over there, however we won't be covering them in this video because we need to move further. So let's just write print. Let's write hello world, right? And let's run it. It will connect to kernel, that is the base 3.9.13. Anaconda, the one that we installed. If we head on over here and let's open a new window. If you Yeah, so Anaconda navigator has opened. You can update it if you want to. Remind me later. Let's open a new window. Let's go to anaconda.com. That's the place where we installed Anaconda from. And if you look closely over here, it was Python 3.9. All right. If you want to upgrade, you can obviously upgrade to Python 3.10. We have one statement further in this series, that is the match statement, which was introduced in Python 3.10. It wasn't there in Python 3.9. So for that, you'll need to upgrade your Anaconda. So you can look for it. It's further there. So yeah, when we wrote print hello world, we got hello world over here. Now in a notebook, you have two options: a code and a markdown. Markdown is your text. So text, uh, so that you can explain different things, right? And then you have code where you can write the code. So like print, hi, I am code, and then you can run it using this arrow, and what it does is it prints the output over there. Now let's head on over to our browser, and over there let's go to collab.research.google.com, right? Over there, if you haven't logged, you can log in using your Google. So yeah, you can log in through your using your Google account, all right, whatever your Gmail is. Then just go to file, open a new notebook. It will automatically create a folder on your drive where all of these notebooks will be stored. You can name it anything you want. Let's say testing, all right? and then you can write print hello world. Right. Now throughout this entire course, we are going to be using Google Colab. Now, in order to run this, you need to hit on connect. Right. What it does it allocates you a GPU through which your code will on which it will be run on, and this is valid just for a short period of time. After some time, it gets timed out on inactivity, and then each time before, if you, let's say you close this window, you open it again, you'll need to connect it multiple times so that you can run the code. And let's just run this hello world. Also, let's say you're using some supporting files, you can go to the file section, upload it from here. Upon restarting the runtime, each time you'll need to upload those files again. If you buy the Google Colab Pro Plus, you won't have to bother with that, but at this point on the beginner stage, this is the best thing for learning this. One last thing is that I'd also reference Replit and Jupyter. Jupyter is just like Colab. You just head on. You can either install Jupyter, the entire application on your laptop, or there's this thing called Jupyter Lite, which is just like Google Colab. You can code over there. And Replit is also similar. You can explore them on your own. Just go to replit.it, and over there, sign in through your account. Make an account, sign in through it, and then you can just do the same thing that we did in VS Code. You can write um, your file name dot ipynb, and you'll get a Python notebook over there. Also, Python Replit, Jupyter Lite, Google Colab, all of them depend on the internet. If you don't have access to the internet, you can't code. VS Code and Jupyter, if you install it offline, you can code it offline. All right, so that's the benefit of that. And as I mentioned earlier, we are going to be using Colab for throughout this entire series. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to see more of such tutorials. Give me a follow on Twitter at @KevinPKaria. And if you have any queries, feel free to send an email at ask.kevinpkaria@gmail.com.